Hello and welcome to our presentation about how you can supplement your income as an independent contractor working with Choose the Right Health as a registered dietitian. My name is Elisa Collins and I am a certified nurse practitioner and wellness coach and co-founder of Choose the Right Health. We'll try and keep this presentation brief today. I first wanted to start by just talking about what you may already be doing as a registered dietitian. A lot of registered dietitians are working in a hospital setting, and there are a few of you who are working in the setting of a outpatient clinic. But if you're working in a hospital setting or even in an outpatient clinic, you may be used to the 9-to-5 type grind, waking up early in the morning, working all day. And you may be dealing with insurance issues and the excessive documentation that's involved in getting reimbursed for your services. And then you might be getting paid by, as I said, by the hour or salary. You might be noticing that many of your clients really aren't in a very teachable moment of their life, and a lot of them are referred to you by healthcare providers that feel the need to refer them to you, but the client themselves isn't quite ready to make a change in their life, and so it's very difficult to work through the denial stages or just the unwillingness or not ready to change. So you may also notice that you just aren't getting to do what it is that you love to do as much as you thought you would. When you first went to school to become a registered dietitian, you probably imagined that you were going to be doing a lot of patient education and customization of meal planning and things like that. And what you didn't realize was all the paperwork and the bureaucracy and the insurance hoops and things that you're having to jump through. So that might be something that's been frustrating you. And if you're an entrepreneur dietitian, it's even worse when it comes to the things that you find yourself doing that were in addition to or instead of what you thought you would be doing when you dreamed about becoming a registered dietitian when you grow up. And then you'll also notice as an entrepreneur that the overhead just seems to never end. And so that may be something that you're noticing, is that the overhead required to get the clientele and keep the clientele is just an ongoing process. And then you might find that you're spending a lot of your time and money just marketing yourself and your own services. And it's difficult as an entrepreneur registered dietitian to fill your own schedule. And then, of course, if you give out your contact information to clients, you might find that they're calling and texting you at random times, and that can be really disruptive to your day-to-day life. So I want to tell you about Choose the Right Health and what opportunity that presents you for servicing clients as an independent contractor online and from home. Our vision at Choose the Right Health is to promote a community of happy, healthy, and balanced individuals. And our mission then is to provide a central location online where we can provide clients with customized solutions and services for life balance, mind, body, and spirit. And we want to be a place where people can get education about lifestyle changes, where they can have the emotional and social support there to be successful at making changes in their lives. And then the resources, we want to provide a resource where people can find recommendations for quality products. There are products out there that are very helpful, and everybody's going to be a little bit different as to what's going to work for them. But we want to do the research for people and have trusted recommendations on our site, because we can't do everything for them, and we certainly can't provide all services. We want to be fairly comprehensive, but for those things that we can't provide, we want to have quality recommendations that are well researched for our clients who trust us. And then also we want to share our message with the world, which is that mindset is absolutely key to making long-term lifestyle changes. What are our values at Choose the Right Health? Well, first and foremost, it's balance, life balance, to be specific, mind, body, and spirit. We also are proponents of self-determination, which is so important to us that we actually put it in our name, Choose the Right Health. We want our clients to be able to choose not only to make the choice to move towards holistic health and wellness, but the way in which they want to move towards a healthy lifestyle. There's different approaches to a healthy lifestyle. And within the constructs of that terminology, healthy lifestyle, there's a lot of different approaches that are right. There's a lot of wrong ways to go about it, but there's also a lot of right ways. And we want to help people choose a right way that works for them. And individualism. We recognize that clients come to us with all different backgrounds and medical histories and with preferences and cultural backgrounds. And so we recognize that they're all coming to us and needing customization for the services that we provide. And finally, vitality. We feel that health and wellness is beyond just the health of the body. It's more about just experiencing this joy and gratitude and just almost exuding or having this high frequency energy. And so vitality is something that's kind of our end result of life balance with high energies at all levels, if that makes sense. So what services do we offer at Choose the Right Health? Well, wellness coaching is one of those services, which is basically a service where a specially trained individual helps the client draw out their internal motivation and helps them to create their own wellness vision and then choose the steps that they are willing to take to move towards that wellness vision. Support groups is something that we offer online. We have exclusive online support groups so that our clients can be face-to-face with people that are also on this journey with them. And we find that is really key to increasing the chances of success with lifestyle changes, especially for women in particular. Online customized workout programs developed by certified personal trainers. Our clients get individual consults one-on-one for an hour with a personal trainer who designs a program specifically for the individual with all of their resources and abilities and goals and mobility restrictions, limitations, and preferences in mind. Nutrition options. At Choose the Right Health, we have two major nutrition options, and this first option, the meal planning app, is a mobile application or computer program software or online service, subscription service that really encompasses a lot more options, which again it comes down to that value of self-determination. This app allows the client to choose an approach to whole foods meal planning that feels right to them. So it might be something that is recommended by a physician, like a gluten-free diet or a heart-healthy diet or something, but it allows the client to select a meal plan that works for them, something that they'll stick to, and then it provides templates that are designed by registered dietitians that are customizable. And so our registered dietitians that contract with us become very familiar with this app and how to track the client's food logs and how to watch their progress and how to work with the client, closely with the client who is subscribing to this application. And so they can also use their expertise to make recommendations and additional suggestions that we'll talk about very soon. Our second option for nutrition is called our Fast Track, and we get into that in quite a bit more detail as we go along with this presentation. And then life coaching is another service that we offer, which is essentially there's a lot of crossover with life coaching and wellness coaching, except life coaching is a little bit more comprehensive and isn't quite as focused on behaviors that promote a healthy body as it is focused on just in general meeting your goals. And so it's just a little bit more broad. And of course, as we grow, we intend to offer a lot more services to help people find solutions to life balance and bring more and more contractors on board of various services. So why would I want to work with Choose the Right Health? Why would a registered dietitian want to join our ranks as an independent contractor? Well, one reason is for limits your liability. application for nutrition is designed by registered dietitians, and it's designed by a very reputable third party. And so much of the liability that comes from meal planning is absorbed by that organization. And so as a registered dietitian consulting with clients, you're really just providing a little bit of education here and there, and not designing their meal plan from scratch. And so that helps to kind of mitigate a little bit of the liability that would be inherent in designing the meal plan from scratch. Do what you love in health and wellness, finally. When you were, before you became a registered dietitian, you dreamed about becoming a registered dietitian when you grow up, and you thought about what it might be like to work directly with clients and to teach them, educate them, and help them to make good choices. And you found over the years that you've been a little bit baited and switched with that. And so we want to help you to do what it is you do best and what it is that you train to do, which is to provide direct services to clients and leave the overhead and all the other stuff to us. So deal with clients who are already sold. As I mentioned before, a lot of times in the hospital setting, or you're dealing with clients or patients who are brought to you or sent to you by primary care providers, or otherwise are kind of against their will brought for your services. And so with our cash-based approach, you're getting people who are ready to change and are coming to you on their own volition, which is really refreshing. No insurance hassle. That has, as a nurse practitioner, that has kind of become the bane of my existence and the story of my life, that I'm constantly filling out insurance forms in order to get services reimbursed. But we deal only in cash at Choose the Right Health, and so we don't do any of that sort of paperwork. So that's, again, very refreshing. Working from home and making your own schedule. Now, some of you may be looking to work exclusively from home, and others might be looking to supplement your current income on the off hours by working from home, or maybe even working out of your office, but supplementing the holes in your schedule there from the office. So this is a good solution to where you can open up the hours of availability to wherever you're available and just allow people to schedule around your current schedule. We even have, this is not something I'll go into great detail with right here, but we actually have a call scheduling service that allows you to sync your work calendar and your home calendar, whatever calendar, electronic calendar you currently use, so that your clients can schedule and not have it interfere with the calendars that you already have. So that's nice. And again, no overhead. If you're an entrepreneur as a registered dietitian, you know that overhead is just a never-ending stress, and we lift that off your shoulders and take that for you. So, and supplementing your current schedule and your current income, and evenings and weekend work may be particularly ideal for registered dietitians who want to keep their 9 to 5 but yet want to supplement their income. We have availability during the evenings and weekends. You can basically put your availability whenever you want, which is nice. And we don't exclusively do weekends and evenings. Obviously, you can put availability during the day if you'd prefer to do that. But you'll find that a lot of clients actually like weekends and evenings for these kind of consults anyway, because they work as well. So it works rather nicely for supplementing. I want to talk about bundling because we try to service our clients in a way that helps bring them into life balance. Our major offering right now is a bundle service, which is essentially a sample platter of everything that we offer at Choose the Right Health. And so right now, our current offering is a 2-month program that is kind of a Kickstarter for a whole new lifestyle. And so it involves services from all these different resources. We have 4 sessions with a wellness coach, 2 consults with a registered dietitian, that's you, access to our meal planning application or subscription, $150 towards the fast track, which we'll talk about in a little bit, a customized workout program designed for you by a certified personal trainer, with a 1-hour consult by a certified personal trainer, and then self-life coaching module designed to help you design your missions. And we'll talk more about what missions are as we go. And then our support group access to the online social media support group for 1 year. And that's where they can kind of connect with their cohorts and find some camaraderie in those who are also on this journey. So of course the wellness or the registered dietitian consults is where you can help us out. So those are 20-minute consults that each of these bundle clients will get. So our registered dietitians initially will be working with many different clients for short consultations. So, more about bundling services. As we grow and expand, our ultimate goal, I just want to talk about that briefly, is to offer kind of a build your own bundle approach to where clients can mix and match what they feel they need to add into their life. Again, honoring that value of individualism and self-determination, those values, and balance. And so we offer the tier system, or we will be offering the tier system. And what that is basically each of our services has 3 different levels or tiers. And we also have a tier 0, which is basically a free mini taste of the service, not serviced by a human being, but rather something like, for example, a free educational report, or a free 2-week trial on the application, or those kind of things. And so they get a little bit of a taste of the service in order to know whether they want a little bit more. And so that we call our tier 0, and it's just kind of this hidden tier. But tier 1, 2, and 3, most our major services, which are wellness coaching, registered dietitian, or nutrition services, and personal training, have tiers. So with each tier, the first tier is usually a subscription that doesn't require a whole lot of manpower. Tier 2 is more commitment to the monthly subscription, but in exchange for that, there's a lower monthly cost. And tier 3 typically involves even more commitment, more savings, and in a lot of cases, more involvement of the contractor or the service provider, which I'll use those terminology interchangeably. So this is an example. You'll see this goes very quickly, but this is just kind of what our tier plans look like when they look at the different pricing, and they can mix and match. And depending on how they mix and match, they can get significant savings on their entire cart when they mix different tiers. For example, if they get 2 items from different categories that are both in a tier 3, and they get a total of 3 items, and 2 of them are tier 3, then they can potentially save up to 25% off their entire cart. So that's kind of the idea behind bundling, is that you bundle and save, kind of like your cable and your phone bills. So what are the tiers when it comes to registered, or to the registered dietitian, or to the nutrition approach? Well, when it comes to the what we call the CTR Health application, which is the name of the app, is available on iTunes and Android. Tier 1 is access to the mobile application on a month-to-month basis. Tier 2 is access to the application with a 12-month commitment, which is a lower monthly cost. And Tier 3 is access to the application for a 15-month commitment total, with the first 3 months involving weekly 15 to 20-minute calls by our registered dietitian. That's you. So you're involved in the Tier 3 on the tier program, which is not rolled out on an a la carte basis, but on the bundling, our registered dietitians will be providing those initial 2 consults with the client as they get started on the application. So why online dietitian consults? Well, studies have shown that accountability visits are more effective over the phone. People are just more honest with that anonymity that comes with phone calls. They tend to just report the truth instead of embellishing or trying to hide what really happened. There's no reason to hide. They just feel more safe when reporting over the phone. And it allows us to provide multiple services from the same platform through our one website, which is nice. And to have contractors from all over the United States. So that's also nice. And it breaks down barriers just to servicing more people, things like geographic barriers, or barriers of some of these individuals who have a lot of weight to lose can't even leave their house, even if they wanted to, and they need help from their homes. Some of them because they have too much weight to leave their house, and others of them because of, depression or agoraphobia or some reason. It helps us to reach out and help those people that otherwise couldn't get services in a normal hospital setting. So And it just helps us to reach more people because we can bundle and offer these services this way and have a reduced overhead by doing this. It allows the services to be more affordable to the masses. So how do we utilize contractors? Well, with registered dietitians, the registered dietitian reviews the client's medical history and helps establish the appropriateness of the selected program. So we invite you to use your expertise to make suggestions to the client if you feel that their selected program is not appropriate for their medical history or would not be realistic for them. They do make that first selection, but we invite you to discuss with them whether that is an appropriate approach for them. So we appreciate that expertise that you have. And then you provide guidance for them when it comes to the meal plan that they've selected or to help them select a meal plan. You provide customized education to them with regard to the meal plan they've selected. And what I like about the customized education is our meal planning app does not have the capability to overlap the two different meal plans. For example, if somebody's gluten-free but also requires a heart-healthy diet. And that's where your expertise comes in and your creativity to where you can give them suggestions and customize their education to their comorbidities so that they have the education that is most relevant to them. And I think that strikes me as something that will appeal to a lot of you, just being able to use the knowledge base that you have to design customized solutions for your clients. And then offering customized solutions to hangups. Again, this comes down to creativity, which we have a feeling that a lot of you are craving that need to express your creativity and to help people in creative ways. So. And accountability. With that weekly call, especially on tier 3, when people know that they have to call the registered dietitian and report how their week went, they're a lot less likely to choose the hamburger and rather choose the salad when they order from Wendy's. They know they have to report back to you, and there's something to be said about that. So you provide that accountability. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and come off camera for this part because I think it's really important that you get to see the whole screen for this part and see what I'm talking about when we talk about designing a mission. So the mission approach is really central and core to our coaching philosophy at Choose the Right Health. And so I want to explain to you what that process is. I think it's really important that all of our contractors are at least familiar with the mission approach, especially our wellness coaches, our registered dietitians and personal trainers. It's important that they understand that, especially when we're working with bundle clients, that our clients are designing these missions. And so especially with the registered dietitian who has a couple of consults with the client, they can ask the client if they have designed a mission surrounding their nutrition that week, and knowing what that mission is or what the mission process is can help the registered dietitian to consult with the client and come up with solutions and ways that they can move toward the fulfillment of their mission. We like the word mission that we use in place of the word goal, really because we feel like it's better represents what we're trying to accomplish. A mission is something that really you're gonna get it done. There's no question about whether this is going to be accomplished or not. You might have to find, to take some detours or find a different way around, but a mission is a mission. Whereas we feel like a goal is just kind of almost wishful thinking at times. And so there's some connotations there that are really important. And so this is our acronym that helps our wellness coaches guide the client through the process of making clear, action-oriented, and emotion-driven goals that move them towards their vision for wellness. So the acronym MISSION stands for meaningful, imagination, script, and those two letters I and S are really quite intertwined and overlapping, and so we call those two letters together the is or speaking in is language, which we'll talk more about. The next S is stretch, internal gauges, and then overcome challenges and next step. So I'm going to come back around to the whole SMART goal idea. I know our well coaches are very highly trained in walking their clients through SMART goals, and so we'll talk about that. But this is just a quick example, so bear with me here. So this is the mission. I'm down to the last half mile of the marathon, running in the crisp New England fall afternoon. My mouth is dry, but I don't care. I can feel the rhythm of my feet and the pattern of my breathing and my heart pounding, knowing that I've almost done it. Suddenly I feel a surge of love and a pang of acute longing for my mother. She is the reason that I'm running the breast cancer awareness marathon, and I can feel her presence. So this is a goal that's very meaningful to the person that is accomplishing this goal. This is something that she's doing to honor her late mother. And so that's something that is really emotional for her. She has the ability to imagine what it might feel like to accomplish this goal. And this goal for this person is actually way out in the future. This is something that she couldn't possibly imagine. Well, she is imagining it, I guess. But this is something that is a long-term goal to run a marathon. And she's using her imagination to conjure up images imagery of the fulfillment of this long-term goal. She's able to feel and see and taste and smell the different things that she would feel and see and taste and smell if she were there fulfilling this mission. So that's what the imagination stands for. And then this whole concept of the is, as you can see, she's visualizing this process as if it were in the present tense, even though we know this is a future event. So that's the concept of the is, and the is language is that we're speaking about the future as if it were the present, as if it were already our reality. And there's something very powerful about that. Neuro-linguistic programming, and there's something that happens to the brain when we speak in the is language. So okay, so now the same individual is back planning this mission and visualizing the steps and the short-term goals involved in accomplishing her mission. So the same sort of intertwining process of imagination and scripting is going on here. So we talk more about imagination and scripting, visualization, and all these steps in great detail in training. But I just wanted to give you an overview of what you would be, how our wellness coaches will be working through the goal setting process and the mission designing process with our clients. It's Monday morning. I look at the picture on the nightstand of my mother, who passed away last year of breast cancer. I yawn and stretch and smile as I remember that I'm doing this because of her. I remove the crunchy tissue paper from the box and pull out my new running shoes. They still smell new and feel tight to wiggle my toes as I try them on. I pull on my warm hoodie and grab my cell phone and walk out the door. The air is crisp and cool, and the sun is rising in the east. The cement is hard under my feet, and I hear that rhythmic thumping of my shoes as I pick up speed. I'm used to the chill in the air and my visible breath as I run outside 20 minutes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I know that seems like a little bit of an unconventional way to write a short-term goal. And of course, the person is going to write down their goal in a SMART format. And we'll talk a little bit about that very briefly coming up. But this is part of the process involved in drawing out the short-term goal. So again, this is a very meaningful thing for this individual. And again, this is the imagery and the visualization that's involved in the process of moving towards the long-term goal and accomplishing the short-term goals. And then also this is the script that is allowing her to back plan what might need to take place in the short run in order for her to achieve her goal in the long run. No pun intended. But it's funny anyways. And then again, we're here speaking in is language, which is speaking in the present tense about events that have not taken place, but that we expect to or look forward to taking place in the future. Oh, whoops. Okay. Now, our well coaches are very familiar with the SMART goal approach, and there's a couple of interpretations of SMART goals, particularly the A and the R seem to have a couple of interpretations, but overall, the idea behind a SMART goal is that productivity, moving towards something that's productive and it's going to produce an outcome or results, desired outcome or results. And so SMART goals are specific and measurable, achievable, reasonable, realistic, and time sensitive. And so all of these things are so basic to goal setting these days. And we can still utilize the SMART acronym in assisting our clients to design the actual core goal at the center of their mission. And it's still a very useful tool. We want to do something that is specific, measurable, achievable, action-oriented, realistic, reasonable, and time-sensitive. But beyond that, we feel that the mission approach makes it a lot more emotionally based and just makes that emotional component a lot more structured surrounding the SMART goal. So then after the MI and S, this is our second, or this is our, let's see. I think I just put these in the wrong order. I apologize. So here's our second S, and that is stretch. So the coach will ask the client, this is part of the process of drawing out the mission, what their percentage of confidence is that they can accomplish the mission at hand. And we're looking for a confidence ratio of about 90%. What that means is that if the confidence level of the client in their ability to achieve this mission is 100%, if they feel 100% confident, then they're not stretching themselves enough. And that stretch is very important. We feel that unless you stretch yourself a little bit with each mission, then you're not going to grow from one mission to the next. So stretching is important. But on the other hand, in order to rein it in and keep it both achievable and realistic, if that confidence level is in the 40 to 50% range, clearly that mission needs to be honed down, and those short-term goals need to be made more digestible so that the client can still move towards that big goal, that long-term goal, which doesn't need to change. That vision can be as big as you want it to be. It just might take smaller, more easily digestible bite-sized pieces to get there. And so that short-term goal needs to be about a 90% confidence ratio. And of course, that varies by the person. You have some people that no matter what would never give it 100%. And so for them, a 90% is a sure bet. And so, relative to that person's scale, that person might need to set a goal that is an 80% confidence level. So that's something that stretches them just a little bit. So how will you feel when you accomplish this goal? So I'm going to go back to this I, which is the second I in mission. And that stands for internal gauge or inner gauge. And what that means is that we respect the measurability of a SMART goal. But at the same time, you can achieve a goal without achieving a mission if you don't have an internal gauge that's very clearly set. Or if you do have an internal gauge that's clearly set, you can still accomplish a goal without accomplishing a mission. So the goal might be something like, I'm going to read my Bible 5 days a week for 15 minutes a day. Well, that's very measurable. But the mission was so that I can feel a stronger connection with God. And so if that individual is looking to boost their spirituality by connecting with their higher power, through the scriptures, and their expectation as their internal gauge of success is to feel a connection with that higher power. And they accomplish the goal by reading 15 minutes a day from their Bible, but yet they don't feel the connection with that higher power, then the mission wasn't accomplished. And so when the wellness coach sits back down with them to reevaluate the success of their mission, that internal gauge component is going to be used as a measure for the client to subjectively report how they did. So that's important to us. Beyond just measurability, we want to know how you might feel when this mission is accomplished, because you can accomplish a goal without accomplishing a mission. You can also accomplish a mission without accomplishing a goal. So someone might read for 5 minutes a day, 3 days a week, but because of the content of what they read, or maybe because of the attitude with which they approach it, they do feel a stronger connection with the higher power. And so they've accomplished their mission without technically accomplishing the measurable goal. And so they might be able to feel very proud of themselves for having accomplished their mission because they achieved the internal measure, or the internal gauge. Oh boy, I don't really have the O up there. Apologize. So what challenges might you face, and how will you overcome them? Overcome is our O in mission. And we want the coach to, or the wellness coach to walk the client through the process of thinking about 2 or 3 common or likely challenges that might possibly get in the way, or try to get in the way of them accomplishing their mission. And this process is not in order to bring negativity into the picture. In fact, even the word overcome and challenges are both positive words. But it's really more just to exercise the part of the brain that is designed to problem solve. And so if those common challenges come up, then the client already has a solution to them. And if something else that is unanticipated arises, then they have practiced the problem solving that would be necessary to approach it as, well, this isn't a problem because I can simply do such and such to overcome it. So it just puts them in that mindset of feeling like nothing can stop them. And that's very important. And then what is the next step? What is the step that you'll take tomorrow or today? Oftentimes we get focused on making sure that our goals are action-oriented, which is good, but this is even more specific than that. We want to know exactly, what will you do today? What will you do tomorrow? That will move you towards that short-term goal, which is ultimately moving you towards the long-term goal. So this is very specific requirement for a mission that goes beyond just the action-oriented aspect of the SMART goal. So the whole process ends with the coach clarifying with the client, what are you going to do tomorrow? And then holding them accountable to that next step. So additional benefits and opportunities of working with Choose the Right Health. Here's where I want to talk a little bit about the fast track coaching opportunity, which is not required, but it's something that's highly recommended at Choose the Right Health. You're all registered dietitians, so I'm going to speak to you in that language. Our fast track is one of our nutrition solutions. We recognize that not everybody is ready all at once to make the 180-degree turn that it takes to move into a whole food lifestyle. And so this approach, we call it the fast track because it helps the individual who has a busy, fast-paced lifestyle, but it also is called the fast track because it's something that helps people to get results with weight loss safely and quickly in a way that's nutritionally sound, to help them move towards their vision for wellness, at a rate that supports that self-efficacy. So a lot of times one of the things that prevents long-term success is if the weight loss is dragging on and it taking so long that the person just feels like it's not worth it, and all the effort that they're putting in is not worth it. And so this fast track helps to kind of get them to a healthier weight quicker, so that they can transition into the whole foods lifestyle from there. So I want to talk about that. So this is the solution. Being a certified nurse practitioner, this is something that I have extensively researched. I am a really skeptical person by nature. And so prior to adopting this as part of our philosophy and part of our offerings at Choose the Right Health, I wanted to look very deeply into what was behind all this and the research behind it. And so there are there's 9 or 10 clinical studies through Johns Hopkins that have really looked at this approach and compared it to a whole foods approach in terms of the efficacy and the compliance and all these different measures. And that research we've made available to our contractors, and we would invite you and encourage you to take a look at that research as part of your training so that you can get a better feel for what this fast track approach is. And so some of your clients that come to you will be on the fast track, or will have been on the fast track, or are thinking about the fast track. And we want you to be familiar with what the fast track is so that you can answer their questions surrounding it. Basically, it's a meal plan that involves 5 ready-to-eat, nutritionally perfect meals per day. We call these nourishments. They're not very big. This is portion control, but it's also beyond portion control. It's also creating a significant caloric deficit that promotes weight loss, but in a healthy way. And so when I say nutritionally perfect, I'll just illustrate what that means for you. So I'm a certified nurse practitioner again, and I write prescriptions. And so to me, this is a metaphor that just clicks and makes sense for me. It's as if I'm writing a prescription for a client that says, I would like you to consume food 100, and the dosing is going to be 110 calories with less than 15 grams carbs, more than 11 grams protein, less than 3 grams fat, more than 4 grams fiber, less than 0 grams trans fat or saturated fat, with antioxidants and probiotics and 20% of vitamins and minerals for your day. And so I've got all these specifications as the dosing. And then I instruct them to consume this food 5 times per day, in addition to a home-cooked, 0-carb protein and vegetable meal once a day. So what's very important to me is that my clients or my patients are consuming a home-cooked, low-carb protein and vegetable meal once a day, because there are a lot of for lack of a better term, meal replacement programs out there that don't encourage the client to put forth any effort when it comes to cooking or making their own food. The program is designed to be 100% meal replacement. The problem with that is that the client doesn't learn anything, and they walk away with less self-efficacy than they had before. So this program encourages self-efficacy by ensuring that the client is consuming 1 meal a day that is made at home. And that's something that most people can handle. You know, I can't handle 3 whole food meals a day, but I can handle 1 meal a day. And as they're doing this, they're building up their repertoire of meals. And then what's important to me is that once they have gotten down to a healthy BMI, they are now incorporating fewer and fewer meal replacements or nourishments and adding in more and more of these healthy, low-carb meals as they move themselves out of that mild ketosis state. And actually, that's what's so magical about this fast track approach is not only does it create a caloric deficit that's quite significant, these individuals are consuming between 900 and 1200 calories a day, but they're incredibly nutrient-dense calories. So the calories that they're getting over 100% of the vast majority of their vitamins and minerals, essential vitamins and minerals throughout the day. And they're also eating every 3 hours in order to stabilize their blood sugar and insulin levels. So this helps prevent them from going into that starvation mode. So they're getting this large caloric deficit, but they're also consuming high amounts of protein in excess of 80 to 100 grams of protein per day, which encourages or supports muscle sparing. And yet they're getting so few carbohydrates that they're preventing, or that their body is kicking into the fat storage for energy, which, as you all know, is a mild state of ketosis. So this is not a mild state of ketosis created by high fat consumption. Rather, it's high protein consumption, moderate fat consumption, healthy fat consumption, and low carb consumption. So it's a very sound approach to nutritionally based weight loss. And then with that transitional program and the habits of health that incorporates habits beyond just nutritional habits, it's something that really we stand behind at Choose the Right Health. So I wanted you to understand what the fast track is for those clients that you have that may be looking into it, that may have just come off of it, or that may be currently in the fast track as you service them. So let's see if I can clear the annotations. Okay. So it is beneficial for us to have all of our contractors be familiar with the fast track so that we can ensure that, and I apologize, I have here wellness coaches, but I intended to say all of our contractors in general, including wellness coaches, registered dietitians, and personal trainers, so that we're all on the same page when it comes to knowing what our clients are going through. If you choose to service people through the fast track, then we can get you certified in the fast track. In other words, at Choose the Right Health, we will actually pay for your certification exam, which is about a $200 value. Now, in order to service clients through the fast track, you do set up a contract with the third party that administers the fast track. Of course, we don't make the food at Choose the Right Health. We partner with a third party. And so you contract with them in order to provide the coaching for these clients. And then we help you with that by paying for your certification if you qualify. There are certain qualifications to do that. And then once you have established that, that's another source of income for our contractors should they choose to help us with those clients. And so those clients actually are assigned to the contractor through the contractor's business that's set up with a third party. So those clients are serviced, however, through our automated system, and our contractors have chosen in the past to sign up and become certified as coaches through the fast track, and then they're able then to service their own clients through whatever other jobs that they have, or through their own business. Through the fast track, and we allow them to utilize our automated system to service those clients in a way that's systematic and that nobody slips through the cracks and all that. So it's really been helpful for them with their own clientele. Okay, so another thing that we do are these social media online exclusive support groups. And this is something that is optional for our contractors, but we highly recommend it because it's a great way for you to recruit new clients for yourself. So as a contractor at Choose the Right Health, ultimately our goal is to be able to have our clients choose their own contractors. Again, that's honoring their self-determination. And we feel that those who choose to help volunteer with the moderation of these support groups, what they're doing is putting themselves out there in front of clients more often. And so should those clients choose to employ these services for their lifestyle changes, they're much more likely to select the service provider that they know, that they're familiar with. And so during these groups, we offer daily thought, we lead by example. It's good for our own accountability to the lifestyle because we're all trying to live this healthy lifestyle ourselves. So we report back as well, and we provide that example. We encourage, we support, we provide resources for them. And then again, it's a way that you can market your own contracting services through Choose the Right Health. Now, the part you've all been waiting for. How much does contracting as a registered dietitian pay at Choose the Right Health? Well, it depends on the type of service you're providing for the clients. So our bundle clients, for whom you provide two 20-minute consultations, those pay $25 per call. So it averages about $50 per client. Now, these are paid out by the call, not by the hour or by the minute. So realize that if you have a 20-minute call that is scheduled to last 20 minutes and it lasts 45 minutes, it's still only paid out at the 20 minutes. So we do encourage you to keep your calls to the time constraints that we recommend in order to make sure that you're being paid what you're worth. So. And then the other service that you're reimbursed for is our tier 3 clients who select the support for 3 months by a registered dietitian and the weekly accountability. So those are 20-minute calls approximately, and those are reimbursed at $15 each. So they're 15 20-minute calls, and you would do this call once a week, and the client schedules these calls. So you log these calls as they happen, and you invoice Choose the Right Health, which is something that's automatically generated through our system. So don't worry if you've never created an invoice for a contracting company before. That's really simple, and it's something that we allow you to do automatically through our call log service. Okay, are you qualified? Well, if you're on this call, you're most likely a registered dietitian or studying to be a registered dietitian. So if you have your RD, you are qualified. Additional certifications or specialties are encouraged or experienced. We particularly like to look at people who have experience with special populations like diabetes, gluten-free, or things like eating disorders or, post-bariatric surgery, those types of things. So that's definitely very helpful when servicing those types of clients if people have those experiences. So please share with us what special experiences you have had so far in your professional life. Characteristics that we would like to see in our contractors. Dependability is number one. If you say you're going to be on a call, be on the call. This is super important because it reflects on the entire company as a whole. And so we really expect you to be dependable when it comes to being on the calls. And the good thing is we set you up for success with that because we give you our call scheduler, we give you an account there, and we allow you to sync your calendar so that as long as your calendar is reflecting your true availability, shouldn't have an issue with frequent cancellations or missed calls. Integrity. This is really important to us, of course. We just want to make sure that our contractors are, not taking advantage of things and logging calls that aren't really happening. And so we do have quality assurance and audits in place that help to ensure that we're having calls logged that are truly taking place. But of course, integrity is something that should be expected of any contractor or employee of any company. Customer service skills, obviously your ability to kind of roll with the punches with clients, and if they have complaints that you properly address those in a courteous way, or at least pass them to someone who can address them. And experience with working directly with clients is helpful, of course. Charisma, personality. We have charisma and personality here. We definitely have a sense of humor, so we like to work with people who have those characteristics too. Trustworthiness. Your clients are going to be telling you some pretty private information and things that they don't want you to share. And of course, it's against the law to share any of those things. We have a HIPAA compliant site, and all of our emails to you are encrypted, and we certainly abide by HIPAA regulations. And so that's clearly a given, but trustworthiness is more than just like not saying anything to anyone else. It's sort of a characteristic that you exude, and it's something that people can sense in your demeanor and in the way that you speak and the way that you listen. Passion for helping people get healthy. I certainly hope that all of you have that. It's kind of a prerequisite to becoming a registered dietitian in the first place. So, and then modeling a healthy lifestyle. So that's really important to us because if you're going to be teaching other people, we want to see that you are abiding by some of these principles. And you don't have to be perfect, but that you're making some efforts in your own life. Contract expectations. We request but do not require that you offer us at least 5 to 10 hours a week of availability. We occasionally get saturated with contractors, and we have to kind of pull back on our contracting in order to make sure that our contractors who are offering the greatest amount of availability are filling their schedules. And so if people are complaining that there's not enough clients to go around, then we can sometimes we'll deactivate contracts. We don't completely cut them off of our records, but we will deactivate contracts that are offering the least amount of availability so as to provide those who trust us and count on us for their full-time work to get the clientele they need to feed their families. So we do request about 5 to 10 hours per week of availability if possible. We request that you complete your training within 2 weeks of the contract. And the training is typically about, I want to say about 3 hours of training maximum. And I think I'm overshooting to estimate it at that. It's mostly some YouTube videos and some hands-on kind of trying out some of our services and subscriptions that we have available to you to help make your life easier. So. Certification with our fast track is something that's highly recommended. It doesn't have to be done within the first 2 weeks, but we do recommend that you complete that within the first 3 months of your initiating your fast track coaching account. So, and again, that's a third party that you work with for all that, and we walk you through that process. How do you apply at Choose the Right Health? Well, it's pretty simple. You'll get an email following this webinar with a button to apply. But if you don't get that email, then you can simply go to our website and click on Join Our Team. So just check out our website and click on that and select the appropriate credential and go to apply. There's a 2-page application. So make sure that you submit the first page and then fill out the second page, which is actually a Google form. And then we would ask you to write an email in response to the email you'll get from the web after this presentation, or just to write directly to Coach Elisa at ctrhealth.com and answer the interview questions that we sent you on that email. And so I'm going to go through those here really quickly, but you'll get them on the email, so you don't have to feel like you have to furiously write them down or anything. I just want you to be comfortable with what those questions are going to be. So we would invite you to submit your resume, and if you'd like to submit your certifications, you can, but certainly after hire, you'd be required to submit those certifications so that we can have those on file and available for display for our clients' review. Interview questions. Just answer a couple of these on your response. You can do paragraph form, but the preferred method is attaching some quick 30 to 90 second videos, and you can do a series of emails to me if you want. I prefer videos because I like to kind of see and feel your personality and your candor and all that. Some of the questions are, why did you become a registered dietitian? What drew you to this field? Tell us about the credentialing body that you chose and why. And tell us about your experience as a dietitian so far. And this question's beyond just actually asking you where you've worked. I kind of want to know about your experience working there. So who have you served, and what did you enjoy about it? And what have you learned from the experience, and what was how you expected and what wasn't how you expected, and those sorts of things. So kind of delve a little bit deeper, kind of more essay format on that. That's helpful. Characteristics that we're looking for, kind of address some of those characteristics that we talked about, and those will be on the email as well. And what intrigues you about the opportunity to work with Choose the Right Health? Can you apply for later? Absolutely. I recognize that there are some of you watching this presentation that are just sort of curious, but aren't really at a point in your life where you can add something into your life. And so you can certainly go ahead and go through the application process, and we can keep your information on file and let you know every time the contract opportunity comes up. If we're getting overloaded with clients and we need a little bit of help, we'll send out an email to those who have in the past applied and just say, hey, there's this opportunity available. So if you want to kind of save your spot in line, go ahead and submit an application and let us know when you're available, when you would be available to start, and we can kind of make a note of that and just reach out to you at that time. So absolutely, we would love to hear from you. If you have any questions at all that weren't answered by Michael during this presentation, then please just go to our website and click on Contact Us. Or even more directly, you can email Coach Elisa at ctrhealth.com. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure, and I hope to hear from some of you soon. Thanks so much. Have a good day.